Hi, it's Denise here, and I wanted to share with you one of my favorite smoothie recipes. So I usually make this in the evening before I go to bed. So it's part of my bedtime routine. And what I like about this is that I feel like I'm nourishing myself. Like when I go to bed, I know the next morning when I wake up, I'll have this delicious, healthy smoothie. So I just put all the ingredients in a mason jar or a ball jar. And I start with 3/4 cup of strawberries. They smell so good. Sometimes I go a little bit heavy. And then 1/4 cup of blueberries. So I like to use frozen fruit for this. So I just use the frozen blueberries, frozen strawberries. I get organic when I can. They didn't have it the other day. I had to go to a couple stores to actually find the strawberries, but I make sure that I get unsweetened. So we have at least a cup of fruit in here, because sometimes I go heavy-handed. And then pure lemon juice. So I like to shake that up. And I'm going to put in just a teaspoon. That one's a little bit smaller. We have a tablespoon or a teaspoon. So I use a teaspoon of lemon juice. Now this lemon juice, you have to keep in the refrigerator. I move them to the side because sometimes I can't remember if I put the ingredient in or not, so I like to move them from one side of the table to the other side. I'm using the same spoon. I'm just going to I shake it up, this apple cider vinegar. Put a little bit of this in, 1 teaspoon to be exact. Now on the lemon juice and the vinegar, I like to be the exact. The other things, doesn't seem like it's quite a big deal. So, cashews. I get these raw organic cashews. I get these at Trader Joe's. I don't really go to Trader Joe's that often, but I'll go about once a month to stock up on nuts. So I'm going to use a tablespoon. Again, I like to be generous, so I have a tablespoon of cashews. Move these out of the way. And then we'll put in some chia seeds. So we'll do 1 scoop. So this is a tablespoon. A scoop comes with them. I'll just put a scoop in. And then this really fills you up. I use whole, the old-fashioned oats, not the quick cooking ones. So I'll use my spoon. I'm going to put 3 tablespoons of oats in. So that just fills you up a little bit more. So I don't feel hungry after I eat this. And then the last ingredient is almond milk. Just shake that up a little bit. I like to get the unsweetened, and I usually get the unsweetened vanilla. I was able to get that for the last couple years, but for some reason I haven't been able to find this the last few times. So sometimes I'll just add maybe a half teaspoon of vanilla to my smoothie, just to give it a little bit of flavor. Not that it really needs it, because it's just so delicious. You're gonna love this. And then I just put the lid on. There we go. Not that easy. And then I shake it up, give it a good shaking, make sure it all gets mixed up, and then I just put these in the fridge before I go to bed. And sometimes my son might want one if my daughter's here, or my son-in-law, and I'll just line them up in there. When I make these in the morning, if there's 2 or 3 of us having them, I just put them all into my big Vitamix. But right now, it's just me having one. So I'm just gonna use this little NutriBullet. And I know what I forgot. Let me just go and grab the spinach. So, just like this would be perfect. But sometimes I like to just give my drink a little boost. And this camu powder, in fact, it's the, let me see, it says it right on here. It has the highest levels of vitamin C of any plant in the world. So in the winter time especially, I like to make sure I get a good dose of vitamin C. So I put in, I usually do about a half teaspoon. Getting down to the end here. So there we go. And one tip, when I'm doing these, I always keep a measuring spoon in there. And that just makes it a lot easier. So whenever I'm adding any kind of powders, I'll keep the spoon there. And then today, I'm going to add a superfood. So I like this Greens Plus. I get wild berry because when you get just the vegetable one, it doesn't taste so good. This makes it taste really good. And I'm getting 5 servings of vegetable when I add this to it. So I just take a scoop of this, add that to my drink. So I have my Camu, I have my superfoods, and to make it even more nutritious, so I'm going to add a handful of spinach. So I like to get it in the bag where it's already washed. It's not any extra work for me. So I'll just get a good sized handful and I'll just squeeze that into the cup. Now the cup, you don't want to fill it right to the top. It needs some room to blend. And then I'll just mix that all together. I'll show you how easy this is. And you don't want to add the powders the night before. They should be added fresh. And sometimes I'll even add a protein powder. So I'll just stick it in the NutriBullet here. And then we just take this off. I'll tell you, this is always, I have a hard time getting this lid off. I think I put it on a little too tight. There we go. But you do need to make sure it's on tight because I've had it a couple times leak all over the top of my NutriBullet and it really makes a mess. So I'll just take that out and I don't need to pour it into a glass. Might look a little better, maybe I could for the video, but it's another thing to wash and I don't like any extra work. So now the color looks great. Well, it's green. To me, this looks great. In the beginning, when I first started adding the spinach and the greens powder, it turned it this green color. When you don't add that, it's a beautiful shade of pink. But let's give it a taste. Ah, that is so delicious. It's like I can feel this nourishing each cell in my body. So good. I wish I could just give this to you and you could have a taste. Isn't that a wonderful way to start your day? Have a great day.